So I know that COVID has kind of messed up everybody's lives. Um, some lives more than others. Um, a lot of us had some kind of mission, um, and that mission involved getting a lot of people together uh, in one place, or it meant utilizing the resources of travel, or just all the things that have kind of been messed up. And I went through something where my identity, I felt it was taken from me. And that was not an empowering way to look at it, but that's how I looked at it at the time. Was that my identity had been taken from me. That if I'm not this thing, if I'm not working towards this goal, then what am I? And I went to an instructor of mine, and I told him that. I basically explained to him, like, how I was feeling, and he said something very interesting to me. He said, "Well, what is it about martial arts that you like so much?" Because that's what was taken from me, in my opinion, at the time. Um, and I said, "Well, there's this moment in somebody's eyes where they go from knowing that they can't do something to realizing that they just did that something." And I'm addicted to creating that. I love creating that. And that was the answer after a lot of distillation. What do you like about this? What do you like about this? Why do you like that? Why do you like that about that? That was the ultimate answer that we got to. And I realized that that was a life vocation that could be expressed in a myriad of ways, that did not involve punching and kicking at all. And it's ultimately what led me to become an author, because I can create that effect at scale. And it was my own ego that had me believing that I had to be present to create that, so that I could witness that transition. But once I realized that if I took my ego out of it and it was just something that I wanted to create, I wanted to be responsible for facilitating, regardless of whether or not I got to see it or was there for it, that was a real big change for me. And as I said, that's what led me to becoming an author for the whole Mindset Entertainment thing. And the reason I bring this up is that I've seen a lot of people, I've talked to some of them, or I've seen posts on Facebook, on the groups and stuff, about people who are going through um, a depression of sorts. And I don't like to throw that word around, because I think sometimes it's misused. But um, understand that if you take whatever it was you were doing, you can view it both macroscopically and microscopically. You can view whatever it is you think that you were destined to do. You can break it into an archetype, a way of being. Um, Fostering connection, or improving growth. I very strongly believe in what I call C3 Gus, which is the 6 human needs that Tony Robbins teaches: certainty, connection, contribution, growth, uncertainty, and significance. Um, I think that most of our desires can be boiled down to one of those 6 things, and generally the increasing of one of those things. Um, so for me, it would be facilitating growth, right? That moment where somebody goes from I can't to I just did is effectively growth. Now, one could also say that there is that connection that I loved from being there, and that was kind of like a little bit of my ego being involved, that I wanted to connect with them, and I wanted the significance of being the one who facilitated that. Um, but when I got rid of those and I stripped it away, ultimately my goal was around growth, about facilitating that. So the reason I share this with you is that I went through a real dark time when I didn't have that anymore. When all of a sudden, our landlords did some stuff that was unethical, and we shut down the school and sold a lot of the business and stuff. And when that happened, it was a dark time for me. I felt lost, because I would still get up early to go do a thing that was not there to do anymore. And I felt directionless. I felt lost. I felt stagnant. And I pride myself on maintaining momentum. And so to not have a goal to be momentuming towards was very, very hard for me. And so, yeah, I just kind of wanted to share that with you, that that was what got me through it, was realizing that I could be the thing, and I could still make progress, which I believe is ultimately the seed to fulfillment, is making progress. I could make progress towards a different modality of the same expression of what I believe to be my life purpose. And yeah, it turns out that instructor was kind of a subheading of storyteller, which is what I adopted as my new life purpose, storytelling coach, so that I was facilitating growth through